Alright, so this is day one of the 56 Tri-5 Chevy project, and I couldn't be more excited. You see me drag this car home from across the country and get it in the garage where it quickly got buried behind a wall of junk. And I actually dug it out a couple days ago, but then life got in the way and my house needed me to help it keep from falling down. But we're ready to rock and roll now. As of right now, I have no clue where this project's going. Motor, wheels, tires. That's up to us to hash out in the comments. But all that's gonna take time, and I wanna get going on this project, and my kid's gonna be in this car, so we might as well start with the brakes. So let's jack this thing up and find out if there's even any brake parts at all hiding behind these wheels and tires. Spider egg sac. Are we switching to discs? I'm guessing this is where the brake drum that we found inside the car goes. And they must have beat the snot out of this thing to get the drum off. I wonder if it's not because the adjuster's frozen. Look at what they did to the backing plate. Holy Toledo, that thing is hammered. Pounded the snot out of the end of the axle, missing wheel studs. And these things are gone. Look at that. Boy, did they ever get their money's worth. Jeez Louise. So we know we need shoes. We could probably free up the adjuster. We'll need wheel cylinder. These springs and stuff we can definitely reuse. Curious to find out if there's any damage to this rear end or not. Hopped over to the passenger side, and this is turning unusually difficult. I have a feeling that the brake shoes are completely toast on this side too, and have probably dug deep into the brake drum, so I'll probably end up buying brand new brake drums. The other thing about the brake shoes wearing deep into the drum is that you can't get them off because they create a ridge in there and you can't pull the drum over the shoes, which is probably what they were fighting with over there. We'll try to get a screwdriver in through the slot in the backside here and see if we can't get the adjuster loosened. Wait a minute. The heck is that? Ow, my elbow. You gotta tell me what's going on because I won't be able to see. Looks like a 150-year-old pair of Levi's you'd find down in a mine shaft. But we'll just leave that there for right now because it doesn't want to come out very easily. And maybe that's just a little trick I could use to get you to come back and watch more videos until we find out what it is. And I just looked over and noticed that this shock, the bushing is blown out and it's being held on with baling wire. I don't know if we're going to be able to get this drum off today. I think we're dealing with exactly what the last people that worked on this car dealt with over on the other side, which I believe was in the 70s, because the guy I bought this car from told me he drove this car to high school in the 70s. But I lubed everything up, been sticking the screwdriver through the slot back there and pounding the living tar out of that adjuster wheel. It's just not breaking free. Ooh, I just noticed a snow tire that came off this right rear says Sears on it. I miss Sears. I always forget that I have this, an actual tool for this job. Let's see if it makes a difference. It probably won't. Holy lederhosen! It broke free. Thank you, tool. The slack adjuster is all the way in, and this drum still does not want to come off. She doesn't want to play nice, so I think you know what time it is. Hit it! I think the drum is rusted to the axle, so I want to try heating the drum up to get it to expand and separate from the axle that way. Now I would just use a torch to do it, but I was out of gas, so I actually just held this 1800 watt heat gun on it for about 30 minutes and it got real hot, but it didn't separate, so I hopped on a motorcycle with a backpack and ran over to Ace of Base Hardware, grabbed a new torch. So we'll try this. Before use, check cylinder and torch, yeah, whatever. Ooh, I see movement. There's a little bit of movement now. Nice. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And Bob's your uncle. Come on, you stupid drum. So close. Ah, what the? A bolt just fell out through the trunk floor and landed on my face. Ah. Doing anything? No? Okay, she's coming off now. She's coming off. I wasn't supposed to ruin these pants either. Oh boy, am I sure ever glad that that's done. It's hotter than a Billy Goat's butt in a pepper patch. Alright, this is awesome. Just like the other side, all the springs and everything are here. All these types of pieces, so we'll be able to reuse all that. And we'll replace the wheel cylinder, of course. Could you imagine trying to bleed the brakes and there's nothing in there? We got the old school roller bearing, which is what's supposed to be in this car. I'll show it to you on the other side. There's the other bearing. And it looks like these brakes have not been used in a very long time. Check that out. Broken wheel stud. Oh, do I ever have a story about wheel studs for you? I'll have to tell you it sometime. Well, this side sounds like it definitely has brake shoes in it. So we'll find out in a second. One thing that's neat is this long spring that goes all the way around and then hooks back on itself. GM used so many of the same parts for so many years. This is the exact same thing on the 67 C10 that you see on this channel. It's supposed to reduce vibrations in the brakes. Who knows if it actually works or not. But this side's just finger tight too. This front end must have been apart and they just threw it together by hand just to roll it around or something. We got parts. That's good news. We need those. Look at the shoes. This is just like the rear shoes on this side. Those things are gone. Who was driving around like that? Here's the outer roller bearing. Drum's not that bad. This could probably be turned and reused. I'd rather be putting a motor and tranny in this thing instead of brakes, but one step at a time, and feller just ain't got that kind of bread just laying around all at once. I just remembered that these fenders in this hood are not bolted on. They're just held in place with a ratchet strap. And I'm hoping that it doesn't fall apart on my head. Basically what we found out is that we need to replace pretty much every single brake component on this car, especially since the kiddo's gonna be in here. All the rubber lines are rotted, they'll break. All the metal lines are rusted, they'll break, guaranteed. And with this single master cylinder on these cars, you lose brake fluid at the front or the rear, any corner, and you're done. You're not gonna have any brakes at all. You're gonna be relying on the old emergency brake. And I'm completely fine with that, but if you're gonna have your kid in there every day, you know, we need to find like a dual master cylinder from a 70-something Monte Carlo or something like that. I'm gonna get these parts ordered, subscribe to follow this project. I wanna be doing burnouts ASAP, so we're gonna be picking up the speed from here. So expect a video on this car every Friday till it hits the street. I probably shouldn't have said that.